Good day to our dear listeners, and welcome back to another exciting episode of Sphere Rocket Podcast Network, your go to destination in exclusive conversations with top tier real estate professionals. I am your host, Sweet, and today I hope you're relaxing or listening to this episode attentively because we have a very special guest with us. He is a highly accomplished and innovative leader, team leader, and recognized as RIS Media's Real Estate Magazine as one of the nation's top 20 realtors on the rise. Please welcome Scott Reynolds.
Thank you
Hey,
so
Scott.
much. Yeah, thank you. I'm so happy to be here and happy to answer, questions and share anything that you would like to be shared. So, thank you.
Love that. Yeah, it's really lovely to have you here in the podcast, and it's a pleasure to us to learn from you today, especially with your expertise and all of those things. But first, let's start it off with giving us one word to describe your week so far.
Oh wow. One word would be, gosh, that's hard. One word. Accomplished is probably would if I was trying. We're getting a lot of stuff done, and so that's pretty exciting.
Lovely. Love that. I totally salute you on that being accomplished. It's just halfway of the week and you're getting things done and love that. And for me, it's wins. It's also a week of wins for
Nice.
me. And yeah, it's so lovely. And it's also a win to have you here in the podcast and looking really forward to learning a lot from you. So yeah. So let's kick things off, Scott, with how did you get started with the real estate business? Like, what sparked interest in you?
I I came from an engineering operations background, gosh, 22 years ago, and got into the business in two. And I really wanted to have control of my destiny and my results and be. So I've never looked back ever since I did that. And started in Ohio and moved to the Vero Beach, Florida area in '06. So we've been here building a team and and working for our buyers and sellers.
Love that. Yeah, I what struck me the most with what you say is really that moment when you choose to really take control of your life. And I think that speaks a lot. And with you as a team leader, so what would you say, Scott, would be your team's or your business superpower? Like, if ever there's our listeners want to go to with you, like a problem or a
Mhm.
what's the solution that you're providing to your customers or clients?
So I always look at it. I have two clients. One is the internal client, which is probably the primary client, which is our agents, and then the secondary client is the buyers and sellers. Both very important, but so with that, it's systems. I would say my strong point, and actually coming from an operational, engineering background, was understanding and seeing the value of having systems and having the right people and also in the right seats. So
Mhm.
that would be something that I would think that I know we do a good job of.
Love that. Yeah, totally agree. Systems in the business really keeps it like the flow of it and the
Mhm.
momentum keep on going. And I love how you said that it's really about the people as well, like choosing
Mhm.
the right people in the right position, like
Yep.
placing them. And it has a big impact in how they also help you in building the business. Love that. And yeah, so since you've been really seems like you've accomplished a lot of things and yeah, and you've been passionate about your business in the real estate. So have you encountered some like challenges along the way and what was the biggest lesson that you've learned from that?
I think, in candidness, we probably early on wasn't as systemized and we would fire, ready, aim in that order. And I think learning to be more patient and think about what is the intended outcome and what is the process, and then documenting the process has been the thing that I learned to do. From just go, and like constantly putting out fires to seeing, well, what's creating the fires and what could I do differently to keep the fires from being so rampant. And so that's something that I learned earlier on. And in Canada, we still run into it quite a bit, but it's not as bad. And the biggest thing is that we're able to identify the beginning of a problem and start, before it gets out of hand. So that's really been helpful.
Yeah, I love that. And it stuck to me like that ready, like fire, aim, and then ready, fire, ready, aim. Sorry.
Right.
That's,
Yeah.
fire.
Because usually the firing part's the fun part, like, hey, let's go do this or start this new idea. And it hasn't been, fully baked in and thought about. And so that's helped. And, the other thing I think that is probably not the sexiest thing to do is I think a lot, I'm coached by, in the Tom Ferry organization. And the one thing that I learned, it was a big, like, they're working on a logo behind me. So one thing that I learned probably like 2 or 3 years ago that was a big shot at me was being told that, we're in a group of leaders across the United States of, running anything from 10 agent teams to 100 agent teams. And, Tom Ferry was like, you guys are all tremendously understaffed for your dreams and ambitions. So that was like, whoa, I was like, and so, after internalizing that and understanding it, and I call it bandwidth, in order to create some of these processes, sometimes you have to create the bandwidth so that you can, do everything the right way. And by creating the bandwidth, that gives you the ability to scale a lot better. So it may feel like one step back to go 2 steps forward, because that's literally what it is, setting up so that you can, scale really well.
That's amazing. That's amazing story. Yeah, and yeah, what I just remember what with the ready aim or fire ready aim
Yeah.
structure was I remember that quotation from I think Mark Zuckerberg. It says ideas don't come fully formed. You just have to get started.
Yeah.
So I that's also like I remember that from what you have said a while ago. It's really the firing or taking actions when the idea really came out. And yeah, and just like and now go from that experience that you have from the conference that you attended and the things that you learned from that. So comparing to your team before and now that you have practiced like delegation and adding more team members, so how has your business look like compared to before and now that you have like been applying delegation and really valuing the team of yours?
It has been amazing, and it's created new leaders within our support staff, and it's created people. The leaders having roles and responsibilities and being able to go deeper, way more than I could ever do by myself, and so that takes sometimes the leader feels like, well, no one can do it as good as me, and so I have to do it. And so what I've learned is finding people that are specialists in the parts of the puzzle that I used to do, and then they own that, and then they're developing and they're going deeper and they're going wider and way more than I could ever do. So now you fast forward, I've spent probably the past 2 years building that out and over time, and so now we have a marketing department with 3 people with their own SOPs and their own processes, their own budget. And when they do something, then operations is tied in, and then operations is tied in with the sales team. I have, a sales leader. And so it's, I hate talking about where everything is now because so much of it is in the work of where it was before. And like what you were saying, that, you have to get started. And I think the very first place that I started was having an operations manager that could handle everything, and then hiring a sales manager. Before I hired a lot of sales, I had like 6 or 7 sales associates, but once I hired a sales manager, then it took a lot off of me to give me some freedom of, doing additional business development.
Wow, that's so amazing. And yeah, while I'm listening to you, it really is evident that you are an engineer because it's like really structured and systematized. Like I remember because I also learned this from the conferences that I've attended that when you have a bigger goal, you just really have to point out what's that bigger goal and then reverse engineer from
Yes.
that. And yeah, that is so amazing to hear from you.
Yep.
And I can see how structured and systematized it is right now. And yeah, and now that you have been delegating, and also I just want to add, by the way, that it's also lovely that you are creating leaders within your team, because I think
Mhm.
that is one of the biggest attribute, or the one of the most like beautiful attributes of a good leader. It's really creating leaders within, like duplicating yourself, or even or producing even more better, right?
Right, right. And it also gives our sales team additional places to go for answers. If it's, I'm involved, of course, but the system questions or the tech questions all go to a particular person. The everyday sales questions, got a minutes and stuff like that goes to our sales manager. So those type of things are handled on a regular basis. So it's actually great for both customers. The internal customer has an answer right now, and then because the internal customer, meaning the agent, has that answer, our external customer has the answer, because usually it's coming from the external customer, the buyer or seller,
Yeah.
a situational type thing. And so the speed to resolution is pretty fast. If I had to resolve everything, there's just not enough time in a day to do that. So,
Yeah.
and with everything being fairly organized, there's solutions already within the system too.
Yeah, and that is, it's like having extra pair of brains and extra
Mhm.
pair of hands, and to really work together in building the bigger goal that you have for your team. And that is so amazing. And yeah, so now let's talk about you having like an offshore team, because you've
Mhm.
been a client of a Sphere Rocket, of course. So first, let's go with, how did you find out about Sphere Rocket, and what like pushed you to get an offshore team?
So our first person, I had a very, very productive agent, and the agent needed assistance. And so I put my little toe in with one person only assisting the agent. And it's been, I think MJ has been with us for 2 or 3 years, and it's been so helpful to that agent. That agent, she was doing 60, 70 transactions a year, and so she was just running into bandwidth problems. And so MJ will set appointments, or do preliminary work on CMAs, call the county for permits, do all the things that some things that she was doing that she just didn't really have to do, but it needed to get done. So that really freed her. Now they have a big task list that they work on a regular basis. So that was our first person. And I'd be, anyone listening, I'd say the secret sauce is just like you hire any employee, they're not going to come in and read your mind. And so Kathleen spent a lot of time, I would say the first 30 days daily for 30 minutes of just doing things together. And she was super committed to training. And so the first 30 days, then they went to 2 or 3 times a week, and then they went to 1 time a week over 90 days. So, working with Google Meet, real time, working on the screen together. So built a good bond. And so that was like a little bit of the secret sauce on that. So that was our first hire. And then since then, it worked out where, not worked out, but I had a transaction coordinator that found another opportunity. We had a front listing manager that found another opportunity. And so instead of replacing with an in-person, since the first person was going so well, we ventured off in the additional administrative tasks that can be done anywhere, and did the same thing, made sure training was on point and first of all, interviewing was on point, right questions, finding the right person, and then the right training. I think if I was to say where it goes wrong is when the training is not done properly.
Yeah, I think it really goes both ways. It's like it's working hand in hand to really accomplish, and I think you really handle your team so well that it doesn't even matter if they are onshore or offshore, right? And that's amazing. Yeah.
And having them part of the family, the team, and having just as though they're here, they're part of our meetings, they're part of our sales meetings, they're part of our email distributions, they're part of everything, just like an agent is or any employee is.
Yeah, I think it's really about also inclusion,
Yeah.
involving them in what are the goals, what are the processes, and where you are right now, something like that. And really, is totally kudos to you on that. And then so amazing. I'm like,
The birthdays, birthday recognition, and having them follow our social media and our team members following their social media, so that we can see what everybody's doing and being part of each other's life. So
love that. Yeah, really building that professional relationship, and also like going beyond that, and really knowing them. Like I think that is also one of the secret ingredient in building a great team as well. Is really knowing your people, knowing them in at most like personal level, like knowing them outside work to really know, because it translates. If they really feel taken care of, they will also take care of the business and the
yeah.
company. And yeah, that is so great. And yeah, since you have reached a lot of success, Scott, with your team and your personal goals, so what do you think drives you beyond financial success?
I really like growth and development of the people. I really love learning about what someone's personal goals are, or business goals, and then working through education and how that can be beneficial at work for them and the company. And so I personally like that. I like to personally reflect on, like, when they first started, they were really trying to get here, whether savings or buying their first home or buying an investment property, or, just helping out with some stuff, even, just life stuff too. So that's one of the things I personally enjoy. Now, the business stuff, I'm just super competitive, and I like trying to be the best we can be and stretch ourselves and gain market share, hit new sales goals and things like that. That's kind of natural, and I have fun with that, and that drives me. But the most rewarding is I got story after story of some of the development of the people that are on our team, and it's been really cool.
Love it. Yeah, at the end of the day, it's really about something doing what we love, and that goes beyond financial success. And yeah,
Yep.
that is so, so inspiring. So, for our listeners right now, Scott, who are also aspiring to achieve the level of success that you have right now, what is that one piece of advice that you could give them?
I think so. Something I've learned over the years is people always overestimate what they can do in 1 year and they underestimate what they can do in 10 years. And I think sometimes it may not sound super sexy, but setting like a 10-year goal or a 20-year goal, and like, what is your life like? Where do you live? What kind of, what are all the equities of your life? And backward engineering that into, okay, if it's a 10-year goal, what does year 5 look like? What does year 3 look like? And now what do we need to get in 1 year that'll get us to the 30, you know what I mean? Working that way. I would say so it'd be vision. So creating a vision would be my biggest piece of advice, because then once you have a vision, then you have something to work towards and it's broken down so it's not so complicated. But I think taking the time and actually visualizing yourself, how, I'm 49 years old right now. In 10 years, I'm 59. I'm almost 60. What is that like? Where do I live? Who's visiting me? If I had children, how old are my children? Is there grandchildren? And what vacations am I, like, really visioning it and then backing that all up to 1 year.
Love that. Yeah, I think it's really about clarity and
Mhm.
having, yeah, that vision of you like embodying who are you, who do you want to be in 10 years and so on.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Why?
that is mhm.
Yeah. Why are you doing this? Like, why? And then that answers it all. So,
Love that. Yeah, really anchoring to your why, and that will keep you going towards your goal. And yeah, love that. Love that. It's really inspiring, and I learned a lot from you today, Scott. And yeah, before we proceed to our next segment, how can our listeners reach out to you, or what's the best way for them to contact you?
um, my best way is, if for contact, is probably email. I'm a little probably old fashioned that way. So email is the best and I can give it to you, but it's Scott at myReynoldsTeam.com. Hopefully we can put some of our social media for if someone's just interested in following our Instagram handle and our Facebook, and I'll provide that so that all that information is available. And if you need to, my phone number is 772-321-2113.
Love it. Thank you so much, Scott. And yeah, so before we will be having those contact numbers and the socials of Scott in the description box, so check that out. And yeah, and before we proceed to our lightning round, let's have a quick commercial.
Okay.
Overwhelmed with work? Well, meet your new partner from Sphere Rocket VA. In just a click, get matched with a virtual assistant who handles all the tedious tasks. No in-person hiring, no extra office gear, just easy online help from our recruitment team. It's like having an extra pair of hands minus the hassle. So ready to relax and see your work done just like magic? Choose Sphere Rocket VA and visit us at www.sphererocketva.com.
All right. So now let's wrap up this amazing episode with the lightning round. So the lightning round are just quick and fun questions. So
Okay.
yeah, let's get started. Okay, so first question, what is your favorite business book?
The my favorite business book would be, the very first book that I read in the business is The Millionaire Agent by Gary Keller.
Love it. Yeah. And next, what is your favorite, who is your favorite influencer or coach?
Tom Ferry. That's my favorite coach. Done so much for me.
Amazing. Amazing. And what is your favorite lead generation method?
That's tough. One of my favorites is maybe a little twisted is expireds and withdrawn listings.
Mm, amazing. That's really interesting. And yeah, and biggest goal for this year.
Our team sales goal is 500 closed sales.
Wow, wow. And yeah, lastly, best Amazon purchase.
We bought the pool lounge chairs that kind of sit in the low section of the pool, and they're white, and those were, I didn't know we could find those on Amazon, and we did, and they're fantastic.
Wow, it's really nice to relax after a long day
Yeah.
with that lounge chair. And yeah, thank you so much, Scott, for being with us today here in this episode. It's a pleasure to have you here in the podcast. And yeah, again, if you want to give a shout out or mention everyone or give thanks, I'm giving you the floor.
Well, I really appreciate all the help that I've gotten from your organization. It's been very helpful, very resourceful, tons of information on the Facebook page, and it's been a great help to us and our team. So I really appreciate everything you guys have done for us. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Scott. And yeah, once again, thank you so much for being here in the podcast. And I wish you continued success in your team and with your real estate endeavors. And there you have it, friends. Hope you learned from this episode. Don't forget to comment and hit that subscribe button so you will never miss an episode. And as always, if you have suggestions for future topics or guests, just drop us a message and we love hearing from you. Again, my name is Sweet, and until next time, stay inspired and keep building those spheres of success.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Feeling the difference with Sphere Rocket VA? Tasks are flying off your list, and there's more me time in your day. And guess what? It's all super affordable. Yes, you heard right. Our virtual assistants aren't just amazing at what they do, they're easy on your wallet too. No more stress over emails or schedules. With Sphere Rocket VA, you get your time back and keep your budget happy. Ready for simpler, affordable workdays? Head on over to www.sphererocketva.com. Join us at Sphere Rocket VA, where every day is easy and easy on your budget.